Hello and welcome to our 7th chapter of 4th grade math. We are beginning our new chapter called Patterns and Sequences. As you can see here on our lovely whiteboard, please turn to page 413 in your math workbook 1. Pause me if you need to, so you can get right to that page. You should have a pencil in your hand, right? In 4th grade, we always do math with a pencil. So good. You're experts at this point. 7th chapter, right? We're making moves in this math book. All right, so page 413 starts with what's called non-numeric patterns. Now, part of being a good mathematician is also being a good reader, right? So we're going to work together to understand what exactly we're learning about today. Non-numeric patterns. Okay. So I look at this word, numeric. Is there a root word in there that seems familiar? So what I see that looks familiar to me is I see that root word num, or it sounds like number, numeric, having to do with numbers. And non-numeric would mean not having to do with numbers. Because non is that prefix, that first part of the word that tells me something about the meaning of the word. So like remember on our spelling test the other week, we had special prefixes like pre-test. That means before the test. Or there's so many good examples in the world. I know we're focused on math, but it's really important that we are being good readers in all subjects, not just in ELA and reading. So here in math, non-numeric patterns, these are patterns of things that aren't necessarily numbers. They might be shapes or objects, and we're going to be discovering these patterns and sequences together today. So I'd like you to read with me on page 413. First, I'll start with our objective. Today, you'll be able to say at the end of this lesson, read it with me. Read what our objective on the board with me right now. Ready, set, go. I can describe non-numeric growing and repeating patterns. Excellent. All right, so let's look at on page 413, our definition of pattern. Read it with me. Point your finger on that highlighted word pattern in your book. Let's read along together. A pattern is a list of numbers, figures, or symbols that follow a rule. Keep reading. In this lesson, you will use and describe patterns that do not use numbers, just like we just talked about, right? These are called non-numeric patterns. Many non-numeric patterns are shape patterns. So, your textbook is right. Many non-numeric patterns are shape patterns. Miss P is going to show you one of her favorite non-numeric patterns right now. All right, Miss P's favorite, just give it away. Miss P's favorite non-numeric patterns are food patterns. And right now we're going to do some of our first patterns with Skittles. So you can see here, I have a pattern, a list of numbers, figures, or symbols that follow a rule. So here I have a list of Skittles, a row of Skittles. And they go green Skittle, purple Skittle, red Skittle, green Skittle, purple Skittle, red Skittle. What kind of Skittle comes next? A green Skittle. Uh-oh. That's why when we're doing math with food, we always have some extras on hand. A green Skittle. And then my pattern would continue with a purple Skittle and then a red Skittle. Now let's try one more example. All right, now let's look at our second example here of Skittle patterns. I have green Skittle, red Skittle, yellow Skittle, green Skittle, yellow Skittle, orange Skittle, purple Skittle, yellow Skittle, green Skittle, red Skittle, yellow Skittle. Do you see a pattern here? Do these Skittles follow a rule? Okay, green, red, yellow, green, yellow, orange, purple. There's no pattern here, right? These Skittles are not following a rule. This is a row of Skittles, but it's not a pattern of Skittles because there is no common rule that the order of Skittles follows. Now, I could make a pattern if I rearrange some of my Skittles, and if you were in class, I would have you come up to the board and do this for me. So green, red, yellow. Let's do green, red, yellow, yellow, and then green, green, red, yellow, yellow, and then these buddies will be extra. Okay, so here we go. We're building a pattern. These Skittles follow a rule. And if I asked you, hey, Darian, hey, Mia, hey, Alana, what is the rule here? You would tell me, oh, Miss P, the rule is green, red, yellow, yellow, and repeat. Excellent. Let's move our Skittle map and let's get started with problem 1. Oh, Skittles going everywhere. All right, we'll deal with that later. All right, example 1. We are on page 413. Okay, so read with me. Edgar's room has a border of stars and moons. The stars and moons show a repeating pattern. How many figures are in the pattern unit? Copy and extend the pattern 1 time. All right, so we're finding what's called now the pattern unit. With my Skittles, the pattern unit would have been green, red, yellow, yellow. That is 1 unit of my pattern. Once that repeats itself, this would be my 2nd unit. This pattern right here would have 2 units. This would be unit 1, and this would be unit 2. Look at us, we're being environmental here. This is an old t-shirt rag that we have made, so we're not just using paper towels. We've got Earth Day coming up, so we're trying to be a little bit conscious of the different ways that we can do small things with big love to care for God's creation and caring for the earth. So that's one small way. Okay, so back to Edgar's room. We're looking at this pattern and we see yellow star, moon, moon, yellow star, moon, moon. You're like, Miss B, come on, are you kidding me? Why are we going so slow? We're making sure that we take our time here to get our vocabulary down, and that's why we're going slow. I know that you can get this like that. I know that, but I'm making sure that you know your vocabulary so that as we progress through this unit, when Miss P goes, this pattern needs 1 more unit, you don't go, wait, Miss P, what's a unit in the pattern? You know your math vocabulary because you're practicing it from the very beginning. All right, so this pattern, we can look at it and we can say, this pattern is very clearly star, moon, moon, star, moon, moon. So when I extend the pattern 1 unit, I'm copying my pattern. So I'm outlining star, moon, moon, star, moon, moon. Miss P, you gotta, sometimes these patterns you can't, if I'm writing full moons, y'all are gonna be here all day. And it's not about the drawing, it's not about being the best artist, it's about understanding the pattern and the unit of the pattern. So here's in step 3, or I wanna make sure for step 1, Whoa, Miss B's getting scrambled. Number 1, make sure that you wrote each pattern has 1 star and 2 moons. The pattern repeats after that. Step 2, extend the pattern. Here's what we are given. Now you need to extend the pattern 1 unit. What's the unit? Say it. I want you to say it out loud. Practice saying it out loud. The unit here is star, moon, moon. So when I extend my pattern 1 unit, I'm going to draw another star and 2 moons. Star, moon, moon. Now I have extended my pattern 1 unit. So there are 3 figures in this pattern unit. Figure 1 is a star. Figure 2 is a moon. Figure 3 is a moon. That's my unit. So this pattern has 1 unit equals 3 figures, which in this pattern equals star, moon, moon. Okay, that's example 1. Let's move now into example 2. I'm trying to pause our recording. Here we go. All right, example 2. Read with me. Sal uses billiard balls to show a growing pattern. Use counters to model and describe the pattern. Then make an observation about the pattern. Well, if we were in class and we had counters, that would be excellent. Maybe you are home right now and you have beans in your kitchen, or you have vanilla wafer cookies that you could use as counters. Yummy, they're yummier counters than we'd use at school. Or maybe you want to draw. Miss P's gonna draw. She's gonna try that option for this. But she can also use Skittles, right? We can use, if you have Skittles, those are great too. Okay. So Sal uses billiard balls to show a growing pattern. We've been asked to use counters to model the pattern. If you don't know what billiard balls are, you can look right here. There are those balls. Maybe you use them for games of pool. Miss B doesn't know. Okay. Each row adds 1 more billiard ball. So, first row, we've got 1 billiard ball. All the way down there at the bottom of the screen. Poor little billiard ball. Here we are. We can move them up. Make sure y'all can see. All right, here we go. Little billiard ball. 1. Next row, each row adds 1 more billiard ball. So, place, and fill this in with your pen, place 2 counters in the second row. Second row, 1, 2. Just like is modeled for us in this picture here. The picture is helping us out. And then if there's 1 more counter in the third row, there are, how many counters in total in the third row? 3, very good. Continue adding counters until you have 5 rows. All right, so I'm adding 1 more in my next row. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm adding 1 more in my next row. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got a nice triangle shape. If I keep going, that would just be so satisfying because I would just watch this beautiful triangle keep growing. Proportional triangle. All right, oh, art school, look at that. So what's my pattern here? What's my rule? Every row, what happens? What's my pattern? In every row, I add 1. So my pattern is to add 1. Does that make sense? Are we seeing that? Here you have a nice table that your book provides you. Row 1, 1 billiard ball. Row 2, 2 billiard balls. Row 3, 3 billiard balls, and you're getting the hang of this. Row 4, 4 billiard balls. And row 5, 5 billiard balls. Little tongue twister. Okay. So we're going to move on to some guided practice problems. Guided practice is going to be marked by the words GP. GP number 1. Time for snails. Extend each pattern. Draw the shapes on the lines. Okay, so pattern 1 is an example of a pattern that we're looking at a pattern that's going to repeat. Each unit of the pattern is going to stay the same. This is like example 1 that we looked at. Each unit of the pattern stays the same. So let's look at guided practice. Snails. Snails. And I've got a snail that looks this way. Okay, just like your textbook. So I've got a snail that faces to the right, then I've got a snail that faces to the left, then I've got a snail that faces to the right, then a snail that faces to the left. What's my unit there? I'd like you to take your pencil and I'd like you to circle the unit in this pattern in example 1. Miss P took her pencil and she circled 2 snails, one that faces the right and one that faces the left. This is my unit. My unit contains 2 figures. 1 unit equals 2 figures. Two figures. A right-facing snail and a left-facing snail. So when I extend my pattern, I'm going to draw, to the best of my ability, 1 snail that faces right and then 1 snail that faces left. So when you've drawn 1 more, you should have 6 snails in total there. Excellent. All right. Now, example 2. All right, we're on page 414, guided practice, example 2. This is an example of a growing pattern. Just like in example 2 on the top of the page, example 2 shows us that each row has 1 more ball than the next row. So the row you can see here that this pattern is a growing pattern. Our snails are an example, or our star and our moon. No matter if you do that pattern 2 times or 100 times, the pattern will have more figures in it. It will have more stars and more moons, but the pattern will always be star, moon, moon. This pattern with the billiard balls, each row increases, each row grows by 1 figure every time. So row 1 here has 1 figure. Row 2 had 2 balls. Row 3 had 3 balls. And row 4 had 4 balls. And it keeps increasing the number of balls, the number of figures in this pattern. For guided practice example 2, we have another example of a growing pattern. We have triangle, circle, triangle, triangle, circle, triangle, 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 circle, And now you get to continue the pattern. What comes next? Well, it's a growing pattern, so I see one triangle, one circle, two triangles, one circle, three triangles, one circle. So the number of circles stays the same, but the number of triangles increases by one more than the unit before it. So my pattern here is plus one triangle. So it's triangle, circle, plus one triangle. So I have triangle, 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 triangle. Now I have four triangles and a circle. So one triangle, one circle. Two triangles, one circle. Three triangles, one circle. Four triangles, one circle. And if my pattern extended one more unit, how many triangles, how many circles would I add? My next unit would have 5 triangles and 1 circle. Very good. All right, now for your classwork today, I would like you to try examples 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I would like you also to do numbers 9, 10, and 11 on pages 415. So your classwork today is numbers 3 through 11 on pages 415 to 416. Okay? That's your classwork for today. I would like you to post a picture, to take a picture of these 2 pages and upload them on Seesaw for Miss P to take a look at. That's our math lesson 1 on non-numeric patterns. Friends, I hope that you feel like at the end of today that you can say, I have been successful in being able to describe non-numeric growing and repeating patterns. I will see you tomorrow for lesson 2. Peace.